Hi, and welcome to ENG4U Summer School. My name is Mrs. Jennifer Travers, and I am your teacher for this summer course. What I wanted to do is quickly go through how I set up the course and some things that are going to be important for you for when you log in. So I'm going to run through these, and I'll be flipping back and forth between looking at the course and what I want you to do here. So in terms of using this program, even if you're familiar with VLE and how these courses operate and you know how to work certain components of it, every teacher kind of runs it differently. So I just wanted to make sure you could kind of see how I run the course or how I've organized it. So one of the first things I'm going to do when we look at the course is show you how to email me within the VLE. And then we can talk about email outside of that program as well. It is often best to email me within the program because I'm looking for your emails in there. Just to give you the heads up, my Gmail and my board address are very busy places. My board, not so much in the summer, but my Gmail always is. And there is the potential that your email might get lost. So always please make sure you email me within the VLE. Some other things that I want to point out are the course homepage. It's the page when you first log in, and it's the first icon you'll see. There's some things there, 4 things in particular that I want you to pay attention to. The Google widget, as the Hastings and Prince Edward District School Board is only using Google, and we have Google accounts. This is the expectation, 1, but 2, also that's the only programs that I have. So in order to access many of the resources that I have created, you will often need a Google account in which to open those up. So you can use your board address. You can use another, but just fair warning that sometimes things don't open up because you're using an out-of-board address. Number 2, within looking at Google, we're going to look at how to set up the widget. The announcements page that I have on the course homepage and how integral that's going to be. The calendar within the course homepage and the icons at the top. So checking email, we're going to go through the course homepage. I'm going to show you where the content is. It's like the textbook for the course where you're going to find a lot of the resources and the videos and things that you're going to need. So I want to make sure that you're accessing those. And last but not least, we'll just go through how to submit assignments. There's 3 different ways in which you can submit assignments that are to be assessed. So let's get into it. When you log into your course, this is what you're going to see. There are some components that are going to look different for me than you're going to see. And the purpose of that is because, and the reason for that is because I am the teacher and have access to all the components. The very first thing that I would like you to ensure that you have is your Google widget. If you've already set it up in the VLE, yours will look like this. Otherwise, you'll have a little blue link that will say that you need to connect your Google account. So every one of you should have a Google account within the board. After the @ sign, it's @apps.hpedsb.on.ca. And if you are not from our school board, you have still been given one, and I can help you with access to that. Just let me know via email what exactly is going on. So one thing that I want you to pay attention is right there. In my agenda, however, I started with email and I've skipped over it. So just to give you the perspective here, up here is the email. You can message me through this messenger as well. But the best way is through email. And so you just click that one. You can do instant messages, or you can send me an email here, compose, and then I can see your emails. It's bright blue if I haven't read through it. So just to give you that heads up, that's where the email within the VLE is. I've also included in the announcements my email addresses. So this is my board email and this is my Gmail. You can absolutely email me at any time. One little thing about email, is that my office hours may differ from yours. Some of you may be up in the very wee hours of the morning. And if you send me an email, I will likely be logging on in the early morning, and I will try and respond to emails in the morning. If you send me an email at about 5, 6 at night, I guarantee I have stopped working, and that I don't necessarily, I can't, or I won't respond outside of hours. So just be aware that if you email me in the program, either using this little icon or out of the program using these, that I usually have a 24-hour window in which you need to give me some time in which to respond. And I promise I'll try and get through them early in the morning so that I can respond to any of those texts that may have come after my hours. Okay, so that's emailing your teacher to ask any questions, including, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Just to give you a heads up, I am often very bad at typing out instructions or directions. And so I often make a video just like this and send it to you instead of typing it out. If for whatever reason you are unable to view a video, just let me know and I can type out those instructions. Okay, so email me if you have questions. Get your Google widget set up here. The purpose of this is so that you can hand in items from your Google account. You can absolutely hand in PDFs or Word documents. I can open those. The only one I cannot open is MacBook, or Pages. Anything to do with Mac operating systems, I cannot open because I have a PC. So let's go back to our orientation. We've covered email, the Google widget. All right, let's get into announcements. So when you are looking at this course homepage, when you first log in, if you ever get out of it, you can always log into the course homepage. There's a very important feature. This is my way of communicating with you. This is our daily agenda. You are going to see information. It's going to have a lot less text starting on Wednesday, but this is where you're going to see this video right here. This is a week in review, so you can kind of see where we're going. And then every single day there's going to be an agenda and it has links and resources in it. It is a Google Doc, so that's why you need your account set up so that you can actually view everything within it. Here is all the things that I expect you to do within the first day using, and just to give you the heads up, when we look at the date, and Unit 1, Activity 1. So we're going to be looking at accomplishing all of these. Where you see this little arrow, this is where this video is going to be right here. Making sure that you've watched all those, going through all of these. And then here are the resources for the rest of the pieces. This is your daily agenda. You're going to see this every single day. Instead of posting that giant picture, you're going to see this little link right here. And then what I am going to do is post the week in review, just so you can kind of see where we're going, that if you have a day where you're unable to log in, that you can kind of see what you need to get caught up on. Okay. So this is the announcements. This is so important for you to pay attention to. I've even posted more information about the CCA just so that everybody sees it. That information is also here in the daily agenda. I know it looks overwhelming. Sometimes I have a lot of information to give you. So always check in. Each day is going to have an agenda, and it's going to have resources that you need to check in with. Over here on the calendar, I know it looks very bare. See this little blue dot? That means there's something due on that date. And so the calendar can actually operate as, just so you know what's coming up, you can actually hand in stuff from the calendar. These are links to the overview of what the assignment is, so that you can actually hand it in from there. I would advise against just clicking on those links and not accessing the rest of the course. You're going to be very lost if you try and keep just trying to do the assignments and not accessing the course content. There's a lot that you're going to be doing. Okay, so let's look at sort of a week in review, what we're going to be doing this week. We're going to be going through Unit 1, Activity 1, 2, and 3, starting on Friday. So where do I find that information? That's a really good question. So we're going to click on Content in order to access what I call the textbook, the information. So yours is going to look a little bit different. You're going to click on Unit 1 and all of the activities are going to show up. We're doing Unit 1, Activity 1, 1.1. So we're going to click on that and then we can even open it up even wider. So one thing that I would like you to do is to create a notebook, and that could just be a Google Doc that you open up and call it Notebook, and then you just type in your notes. You can type in content from here, any activities, any brainstorming. I highly recommend, if it asks you to participate in a discussion, which you have right down here, that you type it up in there and then copy and paste that. The number of times students tell me that their discussion disappeared or something happened to it. It's often good to have it there so that you actually don't have to go back through the program. You actually know what you did. Okay, so I would create a notebook so that you can jot everything down, whether it's copy and paste some of the notes, whatever it may be. I also want to point out this little button here. For those of you who learn better by listening rather than reading, you can actually listen to it. And you just have to click that little button and it will read it all to you. So that's something that can be very, very handy. So finding the content and then going through and just step by step figuring out what you need to do. The information is here. Sometimes you have interactive activities that help you to clarify some of the terms or definitions, and that when it does ask you to pay attention to a discussion, that you are able to know the information and then type up that information for your discussion. In Unit 1, Activity 1 is also the beginning of your culminating project. You'll see that in the daily activity, and you can go through all of those, and additional resources are provided in the announcements. Sorry, I couldn't get that out. So this is where the textbook information, where all your links, where the videos will be, everything that you need in order to accomplish all of the assignments. So I did say there was 3 places to hand in things. So very quickly, that culminating activity, there's another video on that outlining what that is. So say, for example, you get that done early and you want to hand it in. One thing that you can do, the very first place, is in the calendar. So if there is something that has a due date because it's being evaluated, you'll find it in the calendar. You may notice that the calendar fills up as the course goes on. I'm kind of setting dates and seeing how we're going. And so this calendar is the very first place. When you click on this, it will take you to the link that you can actually hand it in. And if you have your Google widget activated, then you can hand it in from your Google Drive. The second thing is you can actually hand it in using the assignments or discussions button. So if it's a discussion, you can actually click on the discussion, find the discussion post from there, or the assignments, find the assignment or discussion, click on the link, and then you can post it from there. So 1 is the calendar, 2 are these little icons up here, and 3 is within the content where each of these discussions or assignments is listed. So you have a discussion on your very first day that you can actually click on this button right here and it links you to the discussion. So 3 places you can hand them in, just to remind you. The calendar, absolutely. Some things that aren't assessed you won't find in there, so you want to make sure you find it either in the assignments or discussions. And the third place is within the content. You just have to know which unit and which activity you're looking for. So one extra thing about assignments just before we wrap up orientating yourself and figuring out how I use this course is that in this very first unit, you might actually see this is for practice or this is a formative for feedback. That means that you can hand them in and they would definitely be a bonus assignment that can boost that mark, or if you miss some other assignments, and your mark has come down, if you're handing in these assignments, that it can actually help you in completing the assessment forms, but it can also maybe boost your mark up a little bit more. I can use those as assessment pieces if needed. And the other thing that it's really great for is it helps give you feedback so that as you're going along, you can complete the projects with better focus.